And so it just suddenly clicked for me. I was like, the reason that the universe is triggering this fear in me once again is because in order to move to this next stage in my life, in my purpose, in my destiny, I have to overcome that fear even more than I have before. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be speaking about fears and our wounds that are actually our guidance system, and how things like eclipses bring them up so that we can overcome them to move to the next level in our life. And by the way, this is not necessarily a video about the eclipses, so if you come to this video a year after the eclipse, it doesn't matter. These principles always apply to our lives. Fears and old wounds always come up when we are moving to a next level, a next stage, a next chapter in our life, and we have fears and wounds going on that are not in alignment with that new chapter and therefore have to come up to be removed so that we can enter this new chapter. It's just that eclipses tend to highlight these things, and eclipses tend to really be something that kicks off a new chapter. That's why I mention the eclipse energy, because it's probably intensifying these things for you as it is for me. But this is not about the eclipses. Wounds coming up so we can move forward always applies at any time. Because something I've learned is that whenever we have something being pulled to the surface, like a wound, maybe a childhood wound, a relationship wound, a generational wound, whatever it is, when these things come up, it is for a reason always. And so I'm going to be talking about that today. Now, for me, I'm feeling this eclipse season really powerfully because I'm actually a Libra, so this is my season, and the eclipse is in my sign. So I'm feeling this one really powerfully. And I've noticed an old wound coming up for me. And it's a wound I've been working on for a very long time. It's a childhood wound. If you're somebody who follows my Instagram or my blog, you'll know about I was bullied so badly when I was a child, and it just created this huge wound in me where it left me with this like imposter syndrome feeling. I used to be terrified of social situations because I identified any social situation. I identified people with suffering, of course, because when I was a child, when I was around people, I suffered because they bullied me. So I grew up being terrified of social situations and terrified of people. And an amazing epiphany that I had years ago was that the very thing I was afraid of was the thing I was destined to do. My destiny was in fact to interact and share a message with people. So my fear was interacting with people, and that was my destiny. And I'll leave the links in the description box for those blogs where I go into this much deeper. But my point is, when a wound comes up, it is often because the next stage of your life is requiring you to do something or be something that you will have to overcome this wound to do and be. So it is coming up for a reason. It is almost telling you what is coming next in your life and what you are going to become. I remember years ago, before I'd really confronted this wound, where I was still in a place of being terrified of people, and literally just wanting to hide and doing that, I literally attempted to plan a life where I would not have to come into contact with other people. I literally sat there and thought about how I could live my whole life never coming into contact with people again, because I was still in a place of hiding from what I was afraid of. And then after a couple of years I got a bit older, and obviously I needed to get a job, so I ended up working in a hotel, which I hated. I only did it to make money at that time. And now when I look back, I see that even the years in that hotel, even that experience of working in a place I didn't want to be, gave me exactly what I needed to become the person I am today and to fulfill the destiny I am fulfilling today. Being in that hotel for a few years forced me to confront my fear of people. It forced me to find my voice and learn to stand up for myself, and it also forced me to look at what I actually needed to do in life, which was the things I'm doing today, actually interacting with people, which was always my destiny, to share a message with people. And so I went on this journey of slowly learning that the very thing I was terrified of was the thing I was meant to do. And even the things in between that happen, like that job I got that I didn't want, was even happening for a purpose, to get me closer to doing this thing that I was always meant to do. So just last night I was laying in bed and I just received this download, this realization, because I was thinking about what's coming up for me on this eclipse, because I understand that whatever's coming up for you is something you need to look at. So I was thinking about what's coming up for me, and for the past kind of week I've been feeling this familiar feeling of some kind of fear of exposure, that kind of imposter syndrome. And it's literally the feeling I grew up with after being bullied. You know, the fear that I'm going to be exposed for, I don't know, nothing. There's nothing even there to be exposed for. But it's just this feeling that's kind of become ingrained into who I am because of the experiences I had. This childhood wound, this imposter syndrome feeling, this fear of exposure, this fear of being seen, this desire to hide, this desire to almost run away from everything I'm doing today, which is my passion, my love, my destiny, my purpose. And I was feeling anxiety around it all. And I just suddenly had this epiphany, this realization, this download, where I realised with what I'm doing, with my purpose, with my work, sharing my message, what is required of me to do that is being exposed to more people, and that is what I'm currently doing in my work. And so it just suddenly clicked for me. I was like, the reason that the universe is triggering this fear in me once again is because in order to move to this next stage in my life, in my purpose, in my destiny, I have to overcome that fear even more than I have before. So, the eclipse, the universe, which is just the deeper part of you, beneath the ego, beneath the shit, that is connected to everything, because it is everything, it knows everything. So it knows what is coming next in your life, and therefore it knows what you need to overcome now. It knows what you need to remove out of your path in order to get to that next stage. Okay? So because of the direction I'm going in, that I'm destined to go in, because I'm destined to connect with even more people, as I am now, the imposter syndrome wound had to come up for me, because it has to be removed, because it's going to get in the way if I don't remove it. So whatever is coming up for you now, you need to understand that this is something that the universe is telling you needs to be removed so you can get to this next stage in your life. It's not coming up by mistake. It's not just anxiety because there's an eclipse coming. Whatever wound is coming up for you, it is telling you what you need to do. I had a fear of people, and I am interacting with people, and it's my destiny to interact with more people. So it is my destiny to go into that fear of people so that I can do that. And the same logic applies to anything and everything. We all have different wounds. You just need to look at what is coming up for you and see how that applies to your life and the direction you're going in. So whatever is coming up for you is coming up for a reason. When we have a fear, a wound that is triggered, it is because you are destined to go further with that subject than you've ever gone before. I am destined to go further with people than I have before, even with what I'm doing now. And so I am required to overcome this fear even more than I ever have. And so the universe, which is just the deeper part of you, the universe is you that knows everything, because it is that part of you that is everything. So it knows what is required of you to reach the next level of your journey. I truly believe that one of the maps, the guides to what you are destined to do in life is your fears, because our fears often offer us way more expansion and growth than anything else does. Because when we are afraid of something, it is a restriction. When we are afraid of something, we refuse to do that thing. Like me, when I was a teenager, I was afraid of people, so I hid. I was restricted. So when we move into that fear, we become able to do something we were not able to do before. And that is expansion, and that is the very energy of life. That is who you are. Nothing stays still and nothing stays the same. So if you are hiding, if you are restricting yourself because of a fear, the universe is going to call you to move into that, and it will bring to you whatever it needs to bring to you to get you to look into that fear, because it is expansion. It's life. That's who you are. So look into your fears. What do you feel coming up for you right now? What anxieties do you have? What fears are coming up for you? Because they will offer you so much guidance, and they will offer you a path into what you are meant to do on this earth. The universe is never ever going to offer you a path that is stagnant, unmoving, and isn't offering any expansion, because that is not the energy of life. This is why the universe will put you into a life that is going to give you extreme fears and wounds that you will have to overcome in order to fulfill your destiny. I fully believe that the reason I was born into a life, into a situation where I got bullied so much and developed such wounds, was because this was the way that I could achieve the most expansion. Giving me such extreme wounds and fears offered so much expansion, so that I could become more, so that I could become less restricted in order to do what I'm doing today. And I truly believe this is the reason why these things happen. And I can see that with my entire life. Even the experience when I was in a hotel working where I didn't want to be. I see everything that gave me. I see the expansion it gave me. I see what it gave me that equipped me to be able to do what I'm doing today. I see how it gave me everything I needed to become the person I am today to do what I'm doing. It gave me so much confidence. It helped me. Being in that situation allowed me to find my confidence. It allowed me to find my voice. It allowed me to start sticking up for myself. And it also forced me to acknowledge what I'm truly meant to do in this life, and to have the courage to actually step into it. If you are afraid of something, that is what you need to do. If you are hiding, you are meant to be seen. If you are restricting your voice, you are meant to speak. The universe always gives us wounds that are guidance to what we are meant to do. And when we follow that guidance, we expand and grow and evolve and become less restricted as we are meant to in life. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because our fears and our wounds really are amazing guidance to what we are meant to do in life. And the eclipses really help us to look at those wounds. They really highlight them so that we can move forward in life. Okay, so I really hope this has helped you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.